First of all, I'm your new MC. My name is Tony D'Orazio. I'm sorry. I am Copyright Cody Anderson, but don't worry, I will keep you entertained and keep traffic moving throughout the afternoon. Starting in just a couple of minutes, in Salon B, we have an Elected Libertarians Forum, where we have several elected libertarians talking about how they got elected as libertarians in the least free state in the country, according to Cato. 50 out of 50. We're number one. So, for this room, I gotta tell you a story. We ordered Jesmere's. We placed our order with Jesmere's. We went to the most reputable website I could find, wish.com. And this is what we got. I don't know. In all seriousness, Kryssi Wichers is a libertarian activist from Ohio, and one of the best activists in our party nationwide. She's built a coalition of activists all across the political spectrum to help end qualified immunity and the death penalty in Ohio. Formerly, she was Libertarian Vice Presidential candidate Spike Cohen's press secretary and wrote over 200 press releases for the campaign, making me look like a slacker. I'm going to let her talk about making sausage. Apparently, I don't know, some sort of an Upton Sinclair thing. But without further ado, Kryssi Wichers.
So like Mr. Tony Spaghetti said, I am Jess Mears from Wish.com. Unfortunately, she costs a lot more than I do. She really wanted to be here. She is in Montana, but she wanted me to tell you guys that she is the queen of the Libertarian Party. She made me bring the crown. So this is actually a presentation that she put together. I've spiced it up quite a bit. So this is basically things that you should do before you run for office, things that you should think about before you run for office. And we call it making sausage because as soon as this goes, if you want to respect sausage or law, don't watch either being made. Now, where are we here in the Libertarian Party today? We have 229 elected officials as of the other day, and 99 of them are partisan offices, so those are elected officials with an L next to their name. 130 of those are nonpartisan. Yeah, awesome. We love it with L, right? So, there should be 16 questions you ask yourself before you even consider running for office. And I know we in the party love to do this whole thing where, oh, hi, you're new to the party, would you like to run for office? We can't be doing that because that really drives off a lot of these awesome, passionate activists. So these are questions you should ask yourself. Have you conducted a thorough review of your history? Now, what that means, have you ever Googled yourself? Have you been arrested for anything that's not fun? Have you done anything a little unsavory? I mean, that might work for you in your campaign, but if you're me and you have lots of weed convictions and you run in a very rural part of Ohio, it does not work for you. So make sure you look at that. What is your current life situation looking like, and what do you have coming in the future? Are you about to get married? Are you about to get divorced? Are you moving? You know, these are things that you have to ask yourself in the next 2 years if you're doing. I can't tell you how many times I've had candidates say that they are going through a divorce while they're running for office. I don't know why anyone would want both that stress, but you need to make sure that you are fully able to even consider this kind of track. What kind of candidate do you want to be, and what are your goals in running? And I'm sure we've all seen the graphic, right? We have the paper candidacy, where you just put your name on the ballot. I'm not a huge fan of that. I understand it for ballot access purposes, but if you're going to run a campaign, we don't want people to look at us and think, wow, look at them lazy libertarians, they're not even doing anything. We have like the middle of the road campaign where it's about education. You're just, you know you're not going to win, but you want to talk about recreational cocaine. Totally get it. And then you have your all-out campaign. That's going to be at least 40 hours a week of work. That's going to be, you are going to be available from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day to take press requests, because you're sending out press releases. And you're going to be doing everything in your power to get a freer future in our lifetime. Is your family, especially your spouse, supportive of your interest in running? Now, my lovely husband right here, when I ran for office, he was like, yay, and then a couple months in, he was like, no. So it's a really stressful thing to do. I honestly think it's the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life, and I've been in grad school, and I've been a mom, and I've ran out of weed. Like, this is really stressful. Do you know what it takes to win? Now, that's not, well, yeah, I know what it takes to win. I gotta get voters. You need to be running your numbers. How many votes do you need to win? There are quite a few websites that do this for you, but you need to know exactly what you need to win. You need to know your demographics. You need to know what your demographics were 3 elections ago, because this is important. This costs money. You have people believing in you. You have to know exactly what it takes to win. Are you comfortable asking for donations? You would think, duh, I'm running for office, but there's so many people who can't just say, hey, can I have some money? You have to be able to ask people for money. Every interaction you have, you say, hi, my name is Kryssi Wichers and I'm running for state rep. Can I have some money? You always ask for money after everything. And a lot of people are uncomfortable. They don't want to ask for money. We're capitalists, right? Most of us. We don't want to feel like we're asking or begging for money. But this is an investment into their future if you win. Are you currently well networked in your community? This one's a big one because I know we have a stereotype, right? We're basement dwellers. That's a stereotype for a reason, honestly. So if you don't know every single person that lives on your street, then you're not well networked. If you haven't gone to the Rotary Club, the Kiwanis, if you haven't gone to a local city council meeting in the last 3 months, you're not well networked. You have to know everyone in your community. Well, if you don't know them, how are they going to know you? No one's going to vote for Joe Blow because they say cool things. They want to feel like they know you. And just being randomly showing up on the block, they're not going to vote for you. But if you're someone that goes down to the state house and bitches all the time, if you're someone that goes around and maybe does like a park cleanup here or there, organizes fun things like that, if you help out in the Humane Society, that's really easy, good, free things that you can do to start that networking. What's the right office for you? This sounds like duh, right? When I was political director over in Ohio, I had someone ask me if he could run for Attorney General. So I asked him, what kind of attorney are you? And he's, well, I'm not an attorney. Well, then you're not running for Attorney General, homie. So, obviously, you're not going to go run for coroner if you're not a coroner. Pick an office that's good for you. You should know exactly what that office does. You should have been going to the meetings or, unless you're looking at like a statewide, but if you're looking at like, let's say, city council, you should have been at every city council meeting for the last 2 years. You need to know every single thing that they do. Here we go. Have you sat through the meetings of the office in which you are seeking to be elected? This is really important because, again, no one's going to vote for someone they don't know, but more importantly, the legislators that are already in that office, like say city council, they're not going to endorse you if they don't know you. But if you are there every month and you're a participating member of society, obviously people are going to know who you are. So you need to be going to those meetings. You need, even if it's at the State House, it's literally free to sit there and to go in there and to talk to these people. You have to know why you're running for office. And I know that sounds simple as well, but we're not running for office for power, obviously not money. We are running for office, at least I am, when I ran, because I believe in our solutions. I believe we have the best solutions, and I believe that I can help direct that message and give us a freer future. Have you ever volunteered for a campaign before? I can't tell you how many people, they come and join our party and they're like, yeah, and the first thing they do is run for office. I know as someone who volunteers for campaigns, I'm not gonna volunteer on someone's campaign who has never volunteered on a campaign, because you gotta know what you're doing. A lot of people don't understand what goes into this. This is a lot of work. And if you've never volunteered on a campaign, then you don't know that inner workings. And maybe you'll find out that it's not right for you. I'm a campaign manager most of the time. I've managed about at least 24 campaigns, got a couple wins, and I thought, you know what, I can do this. I can be a candidate. No, I cannot. I have a lot of weed convictions, remember? Do you know what concerns the people in your community? They don't care about Rothbard. They don't care about all of the random stuff we care about. They don't care about political philosophy. As an example, I ran a campaign for a candidate who she wanted in the income tax. She had all these great ideas, right? You know what her community cared about? Too many rats were getting in their trash can. I'm not even kidding you. This was the most talked about thing. So instead of talking about income tax, she talked about the rats in the trash can. And for her first race, she got 48%. So she really, really cared about what was going on in her community. Will you leverage your network? If you can't get your friends and family to not only vote for you, but give you money and host an event for you, then how are you gonna get voters? So then once you get your family and friends to do those things, you ask them to get their family and friends to do those things. And that's what you have to do. So those are just the 16 things you ask yourself before you run.
You skipped a couple.
No, did I?
14 and 15 talked about, yeah.
Oh, well, duh. This thing keeps like going really fast. I mean, Jess is a lot faster than me, obviously. This is in her speed. Are you comfortable in front of media cameras and participating in live interviews? No, I'm sorry, Spike, I'm gonna use you. When we saw Spike on the second largest Fox News channel, we saw he was a little shiny. And so our new recently elected city councilwoman, Ashley Shade, sent him some translucent powder for his shiny face. And look how matte he is. He's beautiful.
I couldn't get him to use it, it's still unopened.
Oh, well,
Yeah, sorry to say that.
it's just because he's not sweaty anymore, I guess.
He tries.
That inspired me to stop being sweaty.
There you go.
Look, it worked! So, I mean, and Spike's obviously a perfect example of being comfortable in front of cameras. I mean, he's a very rare libertarian in that he has a podcast, so he was able to practice a little bit, and that's actually a really good idea if you are uncomfortable. Go get yourself a podcast. We all got one. And if you can't start your own, I bet you got 20 friends that'll let you be a guest. So start doing that. Are you willing to do things you don't want to do? This is not sexual, I promise. What I mean by this is you have to go and talk to a bunch of people. Your job is to shake hands, ask for money, kiss babies every once in a while, and you have to do a bunch of random things you don't want to do. You're going to parades. Every single parade in your district, you're going. And you're not going to sit in the car like a little bitch. You're going to go and you're going to march that entire parade. And you're going to sit there with a smile on your face, and you're going to thank you guys so much while your feet are killing you. And then you're going to do it again tomorrow. And then you're going to go door knocking every day. I'm getting really sick and tired of not seeing door knockers, guys. You have to go out and knock doors every day. I know we might not like AOC, although she's pretty libertarian in some of her social views. She wore out 2 pairs of tennis shoes knocking doors, and she won. You have to be wearing out your tennis shoes. You have to go every day. So we covered those ones, right? You're keeping up, right? Okay, thank you. So as far as federal, state, and local goes, that's, obviously what you're going to choose which one to go for. I mean, in my opinion, it should be as local as possible. So your key ingredients to choosing either of those 3 is to answer those 16 questions. You're then going to make a comprehensive campaign plan That doesn't mean you like get stoned with your buddies and say, we're gonna do this. You're gonna write down every single thing. That win number is going to be ingrained in your head. In fact, tattoo it on your head. You know exactly what your win number is. You need to have all of everything written down. And that means everything. I had a candidate, I said I wasn't gonna do any more campaigns for anyone, but she came to me with a binder this big for a township trustee race. And I had to do it because I was comprehensive as shit. She already did my job. And it was amazing. She knew every single thing about her community. Come on. There we go. And then you're going to have the commitment to carry out that plan. You're not going to give up halfway through. You're not going to be like, I'm kind of tired today. You're going to do it 40 hours a week minimum. This is your full-time job. This isn't just libertarians relying on you or the party relying on you. This is our community relying on us because there's a lot of people that are in cages right now that shouldn't be. There's a lot of people getting robbed right now that shouldn't be. And we are kind of rare in the fact that we have the knowledge that we know what's going on. So it's almost our duty to really care about this and really do something about it. Oh, we must have a written campaign plan to make sausage. I love Jess so much, this is ridiculous. Plan to make the plan work. She's very extra. So you're gonna have to obviously set some goals, right? You're gonna have to sit there and differentiate what makes you different from the Republicans and the Democrats. The Republicrats. And you have, like, obviously you can't go up and say, well, I'm fiscally conservative and I'm socially liberal. Nobody cares about that. They want to hear what you're going to do that's different than what they already have on their plate. Why would they go and get a plate? It's like they have this nice smorgasbord here. Why would they go and get your paper plate? You know, you got to be different. You have to show them why you are the one for the win. So after you get, your different goals there, you have to clearly define them, and then your entire campaign revolves around them. Don't go switching it up all the time. You don't need 27 platform points. You don't need, 100 Supreme Court justice picks. You don't need all of that. You need just your main goals, and you focus on that. I suggest 3. I think 3 platform points is plenty. You're targeting in demographics. This one's fun, right? So this is again with the win number. I know that she puts like this website in here with all this. If anybody wants this, she has a full little thing of all of the resources. You can also find them on lpaction.org. But this will help you calculate your win number. It might not sound like it's that hard, but when you are a libertarian, most likely you're in a 3-way race, sometimes 4-way. And that's when it starts getting a little bit complicated. It's not split it in 4 and that's what you need. It's a lot more complicated than that, and you need to look at the last 3 elections. But this website does it for you. And so as far as the analysis of your district's demographics, I'm talking, you need to know how old people are, you need to know their gender, are they married, how much money do they make, what football team do they like, and let me tell you, that matters. You cannot walk, I'm from Ohio. If you walked up to my door and you're in a Michigan hoodie, you're not getting my vote. I don't care if you're libertarian. And as far as analysis for prior elections, it's like what I said, you need the last 3 elections. You need to look at all of them because you can't just look at the last one. And right now with COVID, obviously this last election was a little bit different. So you're going to not only look at last year, you should probably look at the last 4. So you want to identify the voters you need to reach to achieve your goals. So that sounds obviously common sense, but you know how you do that? You go and door knock. And your first round of door knocks, because you're gonna touch them 3 times, your first round of door knocks, you ask them, what do you care about? And then you write it down, and then you put it all in a nice little chart, and now you know exactly what voters care about what. These voters care about guns, these voters care about, I don't know, maybe those are the ones that care about Rothbard. And then you can then tailor your message to them. So you're gonna run a standard turnout model, and so what that means, you're going to figure out how many people are even going to turn out for this. Again, with COVID, it's a little bit different because we had a record number of voters this last time. And you're you're gonna have to do a little bit of math and you're gonna have to do a little bit of predicting. But you need to know exactly how many people you expect to show up. Because if that's how many people you expect to show up, that's how many people you need to go and knock doors. That's how many people you need to send mailers to. That's how many people you need to just to get out and vote for you. You need to develop, that's actually developing a winning scenario is doing your turnout model. Because obviously our goal is to win, right? I'm tired of not winning. Aren't you tired of not winning? I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of seeing all these candidates work really hard, and they put all of their time in there, and they get 2%. Hi, my name's Kryssi, I got 2.6. And I tried really hard. You have to get into a situation where you're not running against a 12-term incumbent that everyone loves. That you're not going to be running a race, on legalizing marijuana when every single person in your district hates marijuana. You need a winning scenario. And I know, we don't just want to win, we want to educate. No, we need to win. You need to identify potential coalitions and community influencers. This is my favorite thing. And this is something that, again, I really hate complimenting Spike this much. Spike is amazing at this. When he was out in Ohio, we had been trying to get a lot of our Libertarian Party to go down and talk to the BLM protesters. Because as I was there for 44 days straight, my husband and I both were, not one of them was a Democrat. Not one was even a liberal. Most of them were anarchists. But when you have a bunch of libertarians come down there just to argue, they're not going to talk to us. Spike went down there, and he didn't go and talk to them. He didn't go and give them a speech. He went down there and he listened. And he sat there at least 45 minutes just listening to their stories. And by the end of their, I'd say, an hour and a half conversation they had together, not only did BLM, all of the members, all of them love Spike, they endorsed Joe Jorgensen and Spike Cohen's ticket. And then they live streamed that to the rest of the chapters in Ohio. And then all of BLM in Ohio have been going to every single one of our events. They've been joining our party. We've had 3 run for office. This is insane. Just from Spike going and listening to them, it literally almost makes me want to cry because it's been so amazing. And now, because of that coalition that Spike started, we were able to join forces with them to get an end to qualified immunity on the ballot. We're still getting petition signatures, but we're almost there. And that's a group of libertarians, of BLM, and we even got AFP involved. And it's a weird coalition, but we got it. And all because we decided to say, why don't we stop arguing about this random shit and just focus on this good shit? And now we have things going. We've been able to decriminalize marijuana in many cities. We've been able to do so much just by building coalitions with people who are willing to work. I don't care if you guys disagree on abortion. I don't care if you think they're a commie. If they care about one thing you care about, work on that together.
That's right.
Was he not sweaty that day?
He was actually very sweaty that day, but they looked right past it. They were nice enough to look past it. At first they saw this little short Jewish white man walk up in his suit, and they're like, oh God, the cops are coming. And then Spike came up and he said, hey, I'm not a cop. And they said, yeah, right. But no, he walked up and he said, hey, my name is Spike Cohen and just want to listen to your stories. And he sweat a little bit and they could see that meant he was nervous. Yeah, he was sweaty. So, no, he was, I think it was like a little chilly then, but he was still sweaty. But, just being able, Spike, you were just so awesome then. I got lots of complaints too, don't you worry. That red tie, I'm getting tired of it. So after you go and you build your coalitions and you go and enact some policies, or my favorite, repeal the bad ones, you're gonna get some endorsements. How many candidates go to their local Rotary Club and their Toastmasters and their Chamber of Commerce, and you go, just all of them? Not many. I think I'm the only person I ever see at the Rotary Club. But you know what? They know how to party, and they always have free booze. Go and talk to them. And you can then get an endorsement from the Rotary Club. That looks really, really good on your little mailer. Opposition research. Oh, it's going fast now. This one's fun. This is what my opponents did to me. Your campaign strategy obviously depends on your opponents. I mean, unless you're running a race without an opponent, which I highly suggest you look for because those ones are really easy to win. Because, and if you lose that one, then, well, that's definitely on you. But you need to literally look at everything your opponent does. Obviously, you're going to look at their issues, right? You're going to look at what they stand for. You're going to look at their criminal record. And I know we're libertarians and we don't care about criminal record, but we need to start playing this game. Because we're not playing the game like they are. There's an obvious reason why they're winning, and it's not just because they're great, obviously. It's because they're smart. And they have little, people in the background doing the good shit. And you need to look at everything. I don't care if it's tax lien. We hate taxes. Nope. You go and you tell people they got a tax lien. Because for some reason people care about that, but you have to look at that. You look at all of their prior campaigns, not just the ones they won, because then you'll find some real fun stuff that they said. There are known high-profile associations. For instance, my former opponent was really good friends with this gentleman named Les Wexner. And Les Wexner is really good friends with Jeffrey Epstein. So that was a fun thing to talk about, right? But those are things that you should go and look for. Now on messaging and issues, I think we kind of fall short on this one a little bit. Because we are, honestly, and I'm not just saying this because I think we're all awesome, but we are sometimes too smart for our own good. We cannot articulate our message in a way that the layman person can understand. When I'm sitting there and I'm talking about, the law by Basquiat, nobody knows who that is. If I go up to someone and I say, Hop said, no one knows who that is. And I mean, I'm gonna pick on Spike because he's in here, but Spike is so good at this. Spike is able to talk to people like a person. And I mean, I know that sounds like, oh, that's not hard. It really is. Because we know all this knowledge, but we need to take that knowledge and be able to put it out in a way that people can digest and understand. And I know we don't have to go as low as bumper sticker Austin Peterson, but we don't have to go as insane as, let's say, Daryl Perry. Sometimes he goes a little too in the weeds. Most of your messaging isn't even gonna be your words. It's gonna be, obviously, your non-verbal cues. It's going to be smiling. It's going to be looking at someone in the eye. I know a lot of us libertarians, I'm sorry, I'm not, but a lot of you libertarians are socially awkward. You want to look down and you're like, You need to have an air of authority when you're talking to people.
Oh, you forgot the most important.
Oh, grooming and clothing. I'm so sorry, Tasha.
Thank you.
I walked into a room yesterday in a suite, and the first thing I said was, it smells like libertarians in here. I know you know what I'm talking about. It literally feels like I'm going to a Magic the Gathering thing, and I've never even been there, but I can smell it. I'm sorry, Caitlin, I can smell it. And I know you like Magic the Gathering and stuff. I don't want to see your butt cracks. I don't want to see them. No one else wants to see them. It doesn't take much. You can do this at a thrift store. Go to Discount Fashion Warehouse. I don't care. I mean, I got this dress at a thrift store, and it looks nice. I mean, you just go and you find something that looks decent. And if you have to get something expensive, just get one of them and wear it all the time, but wash it. And wash your butt crack that you show all the time. I don't want to see you all sweaty like Spike Cohen, and I don't want to see your clothes off like James Weeks. I want to see you looking like Tasha Cohen over there. And look at her. Don't we want her in her office? We're going to get her one day, guys. So I'm glad you brought me back to that, because it's definitely... Spike your sweat.
Ever?
Make sure the clothes fit.
Oh yes, definitely make sure the clothes fit.
Yes.
For instance, I'm wearing 2 pairs of Spanx today. I'm not even kidding, because it was a little tight. It's a Jessmere's dress, okay? She lost a lot of weight. So after you make sure the clothes fit, you're gonna still, be working on your messaging and issues. Think about, why do you vote the way you do? Like, do you keep turning me down? I'm really loud. I don't even eat this. I noticed you keep turning. You want me to just not eat this?
No, you're fine.
Okay. I'm very loud. I don't know if you guys know that. So when you're thinking about voters, you think about, why do you vote the way you do? Do you vote the way you do because that person just has cool hair? No. You vote the way you do because you believe in that person. So you need to be that person that someone believes in. And you need to be inspiring, and you need to be authentic, and you need to be that person. And when you think about why you vote the way you do, put that perspective out elsewhere. How do you win over voters? You get them to vote for you, right? I mean, that sounds easy, but it's not. You have to be on all the time. You have to get these people to literally trust their lives with you. I know some people don't take voting seriously, but a lot of people do. They don't just want to have a beer with you anymore. They want to go to church with you. They want to go to Thanksgiving. They want everything. They want to know, like, what color underwear you wear. I mean, people are weird now. And that's weird right after the underwear thing. Does anybody know what our libertarian name recognition percentage is?
0.0.
Pretty close. So, oddly enough, the reason why, and I researched this because Jess didn't have a number in here, I was like rude. So I researched it, and I asked her, I'm like, you didn't even have a number, and I researched it, and there's like so many numbers, and she's like, that's the point. Because they can't even pin down when they do these polls what a libertarian is. Sometimes they say that you're a libertarian if you just, you think taxes are a little bit. You're a libertarian if you're like, I don't like Biden. They literally do not know, the pundits, they don't know what a libertarian is. So it's really hard to know what our name recognition number is. They say it's somewhere between 7 and 22%. Very big difference. So, so guess how many people understand the libertarian ideology?
0.0.
None of us do, right? None of us are even real libertarians. I mean, except for Tasha. So she's the only real libertarian in here. Nobody really understands what our ideology is. So that's a really hard place to start. Because when I was running for office, we knocked 3,000 doors in 3 months. We did a really good job. But almost, I would say, 3/4 of the doors said, why would you run as a librarian? That's weird. Or what is that? It sounds cool. And my favorite was, I don't like liberals. Oh, God damn it, me either, Willing. Come on. Most people don't even know what we stand for. I mean, shit, half the time we don't know what we stand for. So we have to really focus on educating people what libertarians are by being that libertarian. Andy Feldman, he's from Ohio. That libertarian. We have to show people what a libertarian is, and we have to be a good libertarian so they can understand what our ideology is. And that's how we up this number. You're really sweaty. So we do that through our actions. A really good action, what we did in Ohio in my county, is we went and adopted a road. Guess what? It's free, and they put a sign up, and it says adopted by the Libertarian Party of Ohio. You just have to go out there for like 2 hours once a month. They give you the bags, they give you all that stuff. And I'm telling you, when you're in rural Ohio, only 4 people throw stuff out on the road. But you get to, and also it's a good outreach thing. You get to go find all the environmentalists in rural Ohio. There's one. But you get to build other people around that, and it's something to do. And you have that sign that has our name on it. Actions speak louder than words, Chess.
Yeah.
So, this one is one of my favorites. Run on libertarian issues and solutions without making your race partisan. If you are in a nonpartisan race, there's absolutely no reason you should even mention the word libertarian. Why? You're in a nonpartisan race. You don't need to have your literature and your sign and your shirt and everything you have in the world say libertarian. Do the Republicans and Democrats do that? No, they just use red or blue. If you use the word libertarian, that alienates at least 99.9% of your voters because they don't know what it is and they're not going to vote for someone they think is going to play for one side or another. If you're in a nonpartisan race, you shouldn't even say the word. And if you are in a partisan race, you don't have to put libertarian on everything, I promise. We're going to get walked there. Apply a liberty lens to their perceived issues. And we know what that means, right? We know every single solution to everything. I know I do. I can solve literally world hunger right now in 5 minutes. But we need to take their issues, and the sewer rats or the trash rats, whatever they were. How can we take a liberty lens to that? Well, obviously we're not going to just go and take our AK and just shoot them all. But what we're gonna do is we're going to work with our community, we're gonna go talk to people, and we're gonna try the most free way to do something that doesn't involve harming anybody else. And now that sounds simple, but I mean, it takes some work. We have to apply liberty lens to their issues, not just ours. Everyone knows why they're running for office and what you'll do if elected, right? Yeah, we're gonna abolish driver's licenses, and we're gonna bring back child slaves. I mean, duh. No, that's not your message anymore. You're gonna change it. You need to find a message of love and hope, like Miss City Councilwoman Ashley Shade in Massachusetts. She ran an amazing race, and 2 years prior, she had also ran an amazing race, but she wasn't as known. She took that 2 years in between. She went and joined like every single coalition that existed. I'm pretty sure she was on like 18 like different boards, and she went and met everyone, and she went and volunteered her time at everything, and everyone knew who she was, and she had a message of love and hope, and she's the first, not only first libertarian, the first transgender woman, and the first transgender libertarian. Like, that's a lot of firsts, and it's amazing. And she did that in a county that isn't really too fond of any of those things. But she did it because she cared, and she showed her message of love. Keep it simple, stupid. God, Jess is so weird. I know, and here she's talking about like slogans and all those fun things. How many times have you seen a libertarian with like an 18-word slogan? Like, I'm sorry, there ain't no such thing as a free lunch. Like, no, it's simple. I mean, like, let's look at MAGA. I mean, that's simple, because people are pretty simple, right? 4 words max, yes, 4 words max. I like 2, but 4. No inside baseball. No, like, taxation is theft. People don't know what that means. Like, they have no clue what that means. I mean, and honestly, taxation is extortion if we want to be technical, and we're libertarians, so we're technical. You want to focus group that slogan. I don't think I know one libertarian that's focus grouped in the last year. And this is really simple because you don't even have to pay for it. You know what you can do? You can go in, not to your friends, but to your friend's family, get a Republican, get a Democrat, get an independent, get someone who doesn't even give a fuck and say, what do you think about this? It's that simple. But you know what you don't do is you don't go to your libertarian committee and say, hey, do you guys like this? Because it doesn't matter what they like. It matters what your community likes, and it matters what all the different people like. Your campaign team. First of all, pay them. The candidate's job, they only have a few jobs. Your job is to fundraise, attend events, knock doors, and be ready for media. That's it. That's it. Because you're just those things, you should already be at 80 hours a week, because that's a lot. You're gonna have a campaign manager. If you don't have a campaign manager, you shouldn't be running. Because if someone doesn't believe in you enough to be your campaign manager, sorry, get better. And your campaign manager, you should be paying them. Absolutely. This is a lot of work. And you need to listen to your campaign manager, because you are not the boss when you're a candidate. I found that out the hard way. You are not the boss. The campaign manager is. You're not in charge of strategy. You're in charge of listening and going out and getting money and knocking doors. Actually has down here, LP Action. Have you guys been to LPAction.org? They have it's literally libertarian office resources, like how to run for office as libertarian. LPAction.org. So many things. They have our branding package on there. I think you can even submit to get a website. Strategic advisors, obviously we don't have money for this. We call these our Facebook friends. But if you're running a bigger race, you do want to have some kind of advisors. Maybe you have a friend that's in, maybe he's on the zoning board. Who knows? But you need to have, you don't know everything, believe it or not. I do, but you don't. Fundraiser. Because not only are you raising funds, you can hire a fundraiser. And you might say, well, I don't have money to hire a fundraiser. Yes, you do. You pay them on commission. I will give you 15% of whatever you raise, and that's pretty motivating. You can even up that number. If you raise me $10,000, you get 20%. That's pretty motivating, and that's how in Ohio our gubernatorial candidate Travis Irvine, he raised no money for 2 months, no money. They put someone on a retainer like this, and then we raised $50,000 in 1 month.
Wow.
Just because he was incentivized, and he was a libertarian too. So and we always expect libertarians to do this shit for free. I'm sorry, but I don't know about you. I'm a capitalist. I can't just do everything for free. I have a life, a family, and I can't volunteer all of my time if you're not going to pay me.
And bills.
And bills, yes. Well, some of us don't have to pay taxes like Dan Berman. Ask him, he figured it out. A volunteer coordinator. Now, this is important because when you're running for office, you're a stress ball, and the last thing you want to do is yell at your volunteers, right? I did that because I found out my volunteers were arguing with people at the door about Trump. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then guess what they stopped doing? Volunteering. Because I should not have done that. That's my volunteer coordinator, or at that time, my campaign manager's job. You need to have someone that can coordinate these people because, believe it or not, it's really hard to get people in line for free. I mean, they're volunteers. You need to have someone that can kind of wrangle them. An event planner. Now, this might seem like, why would I need that? I can do that myself. If you're running in a bigger district, you have 10 fairs a month, 4 parades, you got like 16 little random things that they do. You gotta go to the pumpkin patch, and then you gotta do all this random stuff, and you're not gonna be able to keep track of that. Student outreach, that's always nice if you have a college campus, or also, I don't know if you guys know this, but high school seniors, a lot of them are 18. And a lot of high schoolers are in government classes, and their teachers, they're bored, they don't know what to do. I have walked in to high schools and said, hey, would you need someone to like talk about libertarianism or talk about third parties or talk about being politically involved? I've never been turned down. And then you can go and you can talk to these high schoolers, because maybe they're not 18 yet, but they might be next year. And do you think that Joe Biden's going and talking to them? No. So you have to go in there and talk to them. And a legal advisor. Now, this one is probably for like a bigger race, but I've seen a lot of FEC stuff lately, guys. And I know fuck the FEC, right? Well, no, the FEC is gonna fuck you. So, sorry, I say fuck a lot. I'm libertarian. A scheduler, this could also be your event planner. Treasurer. So there are 2 people in your campaign that can go to jail. You and your treasurer. That's why you don't make that treasurer a family member, because you don't want them being like, no, it's fine. You can spend whatever you want. No. You need to make sure that this is someone that you trust with everything. Honestly, you should trust them more than you trust your campaign manager. It is a hard job because you have to get everything right, and the FEC is super incompetent, and they don't even know what they're complaining about. So you need to have someone that knows what they're doing, and it needs to not be you, and it needs to not be a family member. A field director, this is again for like a larger district. You want someone who can control the different regional people you have. Because let's say your district is 60,000 people. I know New York's pretty big. You guys might live in a big area. How are you going to go and touch, there's 60,000 registered voters, how are you going to go and touch all them? It's impossible. You're going to need to have someone who takes care of this side, and this side, and this side, and know what this side wants and this side wants. Because I've heard like, you guys have like upstate New York, and like you guys don't like downstate New York. You need someone who does both, you know? My favorite. Communications director. This is super important because your communications needs to be completely congruent. Now, you don't need your social media saying, you know, I hate vaccine mandates, and then you have, you're going out and saying, well, you know, I understand why people should be vaccinated, because then now people are going to be confused. And you need to have a communications director that not only looks at what everyone is looking at as far as messaging in your district. You need someone who can keep everyone in line, and you need someone who knows what they're doing. I mean, how many times do people not send out press releases?
All the time.
All the time. How much do they cost, Dan? Oh, go ahead.
0.0.
$0 they cost. And I've had someone say, because libertarians are pedantic, well, no, because you got to buy the media list. And no, you don't. What you do is you go to each news website in your area, and then you go and get those email addresses, and you get them your damn self, and it's free. And you need to be sending out a press release for everything you do. Everything. I'm talking, did you go and have a meet the candidate night at the bar? Well, no, you just went to the bar. But no, you turned that into a meet the candidate night. You need to do that all the time. And that's not just because you want them to know you go to the bar. They need to see your name every day. They need to see your name. Because if you're just sending them one like every once in a while, they're not going to care. Or maybe they're having a slow news day that day. Who knows? You need to send one all the time. I've sent out, I can't even count how many press releases, but I get so much press. It's honestly daunting. I have to like get ready again to go on the news, but it's a lot. Like we did a park cleanup, Jess Mears actually, organized when the government shut down, that everyone go out to their national parks and clean them up. And you know why she did that? Not because she loved the parks, well actually she has dogs, she does. But because the news would think that's really cool, right? Look at these libertarians, you know, doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're walking the walk. So we sent out a press release. It took them about 45 minutes to get back to me. And then like an hour later, they came to my house, and then they asked if they could come the next day to watch us clean up. Now we Roger Stone did a little bit, because when we got there, it wasn't already cleaned up. So we just made it messy again, and then we cleaned it up in front of them, and it looked really good on camera. But all that was 5 minutes of sending a press release. I'm really big on press releases. Constituency organizer, gosh, Jess, she's going in the weeds now. IT and graphics. I don't know if you guys remember Joe Jorgensen's graphics when that first started. Do you guys remember the triangles? I know, Caitlin really liked the triangles. Or how about the toothpaste? Come on.
I like the toothpaste. That was.
I liked when your name was like 30% opaque. No, you need to have good graphics. People are, again, very simple. They'll look at your stuff and be like, I'm sorry, Tony, I hate your logo for your chair. I told you that last night. the first thing I said when I came in here is, nope, get rid of that. That looks gross. And I'm not even a graphics person. I'm just a human who can look at things and say, ooh, that's gross. Now, you have to be cognizant of that. And there's actual psychology that goes into this. I mean, why do you think the Democrats are red and blue? They don't look good in it. It's because those are the different colors that people trust. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she won with purple and gold. We like purple and gold. Let's do something fun. I don't want to see no neon green on some teal, guys. I want to see toothpaste, Caitlin. Have a nice website. Now, this doesn't mean you have like a blogspot website. I don't want to see no wix.com/6432. No, it doesn't even cost hardly any money to just have your name, and then no like, my name is West whatever at something city council. No, how about like Kryssi for Ohio? Because then I can run for anything, right? And you don't have to spell my last name, all of that. You need a simple, nice website. You can do that on Wix, Squarespace, and I'm pretty sure that during like the big years, the LP National will even make one for you. You just need to have a website. And not only, well, actually, a lot of people don't even look at websites, but you know what that website does? It will be at the top of Google. Collect data. I cannot tell you how many people don't do this. Every door you knock, you should be asking, oh, so what issues are important to you? And then you write those down. How many people live here? And you write that down. And you need to be collecting that data, because we don't have I-360. We don't have any of the cool little apps that cost a shit ton of money. We can get that data ourselves. You can be, at least in Ohio, I don't know if it's true for New York, but if you don't know, you should check it out. You can go to the Board of Elections, and they will give you phone numbers and addresses and for free. And then you call them, or you visit them. Plan out your emails around holidays and campaign events. Now, why is it that we're only sending emails when we want money? First of all, we want money for every email. But, I mean, send out a nice Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever Spike celebrates.
All of it.
Plan mailers and... We don't like mailers unless it's for, like, really sparsed out people, and we'll talk to Jess about this. Mailers are almost a waste of money unless your district is too wide and vast to knock. Because how many times do you sit there and read all the mailers you get? Do you? No. I honestly, yep, bye. I mean, sometimes I look at them just to like, maybe I can roll my feet on this, like, I don't know. But I never just sit there and read it. Like, I'm politically active and I don't do that. Don't waste your money. Send a press kit to all of the media. Now, a press kit isn't just a press release. This is gonna be your bio. Now, you don't have to tell them everything about yourself, only the good things. And a high-resolution photo. We need to give these reporters every single thing, because sometimes they're a little lazy or they're busy. So you give them the picture, You give them your bio, you give them every single thing about you, write the article for them. So then they just have to print it. Your digital literature, so like your rap card, put it digital. A one-page issue. I know we're libertarians, and we want to write 27 paragraphs, and we want to explain to them exactly why late Rothbard was okay. No, we don't do that. What we can do instead is we do a one-page issue, and we can link to our podcast, because we all have one. We can link to that at the bottom. But we do not put that, because a reporter is going to do the same thing we would do. I don't do that. TLDR. If they haven't responded to you in 3 days, email them back. Remind them. In a nice way. Hey, just in case you missed it, here's this again. And you just remind them. I believe in you, Jess. I don't believe in Jess. It's there, I see it. This is where Jess would like talk about her dogs and how cute they are and how she's living the best life in DC. So I don't know if you guys know, Jess is working, you guys all know who Jess Mears is, right? Okay, good, because like I think it was pretty weird too if I didn't know who Jess Mears was, and here's this bitch who's Jess Mears from Wichers. But Jess is now working for AFP, and she's also really, really trying to get into the space field. She really likes Elon Musk. She really likes Elon Musk. She tweets at him a lot.
Llamas?
Oh no. Let's do this. So I know what she was getting into. She's getting into where you're going to be canvassing.
Didn't sound like 2 words.
So with canvassing, I know you guys are just going to see this go really fast. She sent me this weird thing online. So it's getting there. But with canvassing, you're going to want to use an app. I mean, obviously we can't use like I360. You don't want to use that. Don't give them your data. That's a Koch brother thing. We don't want to give them our shit. So they have like eCanvasser is a really good one. I think it's up to like 10,000 voters. You're not going to even pay more than like $20 to have them in there. But you want that so you can collect the data easily, and we can share it with our party. So many people, they'll collect the data and they don't give it to the party. What's the point? So, nope, nowhere there. Digital marketing. So actually, Kayla's going to be talking about digital marketing next, so I'm going to let her do it because she's a lot better at this than me. But you guys are going to have a lot better time with her doing it. Not really. Now we'll go to canvassing. So get data, use the Canvasser app, collect data. Again, ask the top issues. What are your top issues? And then if they agree with you even just a little bit, like, oh, I kind of like you. Okay, can I put a yard sign in your yard? I can come back tonight. And they might say yes, they might say no. But you always have to ask. Let's say they say yes with the yard sign, ask for some money. They say yes to that, ask them to volunteer. They say yes to that, ask for their vote, because you need those ones first. Phone banking. I mean, a lot of people don't phone bank because it's annoying. They have apps for this, but again, it's annoying. I do not suggest it. Sorry, we're gonna talk about this too, Jess. Parades. Parades are so much fun, aren't they? How many people love seeing the 18 candidates that are in the back of the parade with their whole group of people? Nobody likes seeing that, but you have to do it. Because if you don't, they're gonna notice you're missing. Community organizations. Now, let's say your community puts on like a Ribs and Blues Fest. You go to that Ribs and Blues Fest, and you don't just go, you go with your campaign team, and you have your shirts, and you go and shake hands, and you eat some ribs with people, and you're like, hey, I am just like you, and I eat ribs. Neighborhood associations, those are always good ones, and like the Rotary Club. Nursing homes. Did you know Republicans and Democrats literally send buses to nursing homes to get them to vote? That's insane, right? Well, what we can do is we can just go there and like kind of like knock the hall doors. I mean, I'm not obviously talking about going to the dementia areas, but you know, old people vote. I don't know if you know that. Old people vote more than lots of people. Colleges. If you have a college campus, Oh my gosh, college kids love to work for free. They're really dumb. But if you go to college campuses and you talk to them, a lot of times they love hearing libertarian stuff. College kids love it. You're like, hey, do you guys want some weed? I'll give you guys pizza and weed. Yeah, like literally all you have to do. Pizza, weed. And guess what they do? Anything you want. I mean, if they're under 21, we're libertarians. You want some beer? I mean, I don't care. I'll give you beer. But not at the high schools though. And we should probably stay away from those unless it's the government class. Government class only, gentlemen. It's epiphilia, not pedophilia. So, your campaign launch event. How many people in here have announced their campaign on social media first? Everyone. Everyone does it. No, you do not announce your campaign on social media for your friends. Your friends don't even live there. Like, why would you do that? That's so dumb. No, what you do on social media is you live stream from your party that you're having because you're so awesome. And if no one comes, they make little apps that'll make it sound like people are cheering. And you give that speech and you live stream it. I don't care. Get a green screen. Make it look good because that makes it look serious. You fundraise while you're canvassing, and you also fundraise during your campaign launch event. Basically just says, fundraise every time you do anything. Literally. Anytime you do anything. That's your job. You fundraise. You go to your grandma's house for Christmas, Grandma, I need some money. I'm running for office. You go to the dentist, hey, I need some money. Everywhere.
I got these gold crowns.
Yeah. Can I have them? I'm running for office. So you do that because shit's expensive. You know how much literature is? Also, when you're getting any of this stuff, do not tell them it's for running for office. It's like weddings.
Yes.
Now, when you go to a flower shop and you say, I'm getting married, I need flowers, they charge you triple. If you go to, let's say, if you go to iHeartRadio and you're trying to get an ad deal, they'll ask what you're doing it for. Oh, it's just for something local I'm doing. And then they'll give you a quote. And then they'll stick to it. But if you go in there and you say that you're running for office, they'll charge you 3 times more. You do not ever say it's because you're running for office, but this shit's expensive. Literature is expensive, especially literature that people are just going to throw away. Emails are expensive. Why would emails be expensive? Because how are you getting those email addresses? Data is expensive if you don't, do it the free way, which is just going door to door and getting it. Phone banking software, we don't do that because that's annoying. Canvassing software, that is the same as kind of data. Banners. You only need one banner for the parade. You don't need more than that. Rallies. Oh, she's so cute. Rally signs. These are. You remember the sign waves of you with Ron Paul, right? We made those signs, right? You can make these ones. Event registrations. You know what costs money? Being in a parade. Isn't that bullshit? They charge you to go and march with your little campaign team's kids that you beg to come and march so that you look. You have to pay to do those things. T-shirts. Now what I did, because I'm really cheap, is my campaign team, we all shared our t-shirts. I ordered 6 t-shirts. So my canvassers that went out on this day, they had their t-shirts, and then they brought them to my house, and maybe I washed them, maybe I didn't, and then I gave them to the other people, because we're poor.
I thought you said to wash clothes before.
So you have to wash your clothes as a candidate. You don't have to wash your campaign team's clothes. Yard signs. Now, you don't have to go get 100 million of these. And if you have a neighborhood where only 2 people want to put up a yard sign, but your opponent has like 85, it's going to look more dumb if you only have 2. Like, just skip that block. Highway signs, I'm pretty sure she's talking about, billboards. Billboards are great. You want to get them as close to the polling location as legally possible, because that's where it matters. And you don't want to have 85 words on there and I can't tell you how many I've seen, and it's so bad. I think the best one I've ever seen though, Brian Ellison when he was running in Michigan, it just said on the homeless. Well, what does that mean, right? But I'm kind of curious now. I want to see what that means. I'm going to go to brianellison.com and see what he's talking about, because that's what the fuck. You want to have your name, something that is interesting, your website. Go ahead and sneak at the bottom. I want some money. You're gonna need consulting and staff. That's definitely gonna be when you're running a higher level race. Events, again, cost money. Pizza. If you don't buy your campaign team's pizza a lot, You're not running a real campaign. Craig Bowden, I actually gave him shit for this when I looked at his financial report. He spent like $5,000 on pizza. And I was like, why are you eating $5,000 worth of pizza? And then, he literally bought his team pizza so much that it was like one of his highest expenses. But he had a very large campaign team that was very dedicated. And they loved their pizza. Timelines, you start with your campaign announcement. That is not just social media. You have all of your important dates. That means your FEC dates, the dates that you have to turn in all of your stuff, the dates that you have to turn in your petition signatures, the dates you have to do that. You need to have that on your calendar. Weekly benchmarks, you need to have your goals clearly written out. You need to, if you don't meet those goals, then you reevaluate right then. You don't just say, it's okay. No, you reevaluate right then. What do you have to do to meet those goals? Your events, obviously you need to have those ready. Press release schedule, your press release schedule should be every day. Your paid media start date. Now, paid media, that's going to be what you pay for ads. That's the iHeartMedia. That's that. You don't want to start paying for that until about a month before your election. Why are you paying for that a year before your election? Now, as Jess would say, let's get cooking. Oh, and then Jesus, oh wait, no. She keeps going. This is the same thing. What makes a great candidate? Okay. You have to have skin in the game. You have to care, obviously. Your announcement has to be good. Literally, first impressions are a lot. If I see someone's campaign announcement is, hey, guess what, guys? I decided I'm going to run for president. Well, we did that, but we're different. But we're running a joke campaign, but not really a joke. But if I just see that you just announced that, I'm not going to give you money. I can guarantee it. Actually, I only gave one candidate money this last cycle because I wasn't going to give anyone money. And it was Ashley Shaded, not because she was my friend. She literally called me 3 times asking for money, and I'm her friend. She called me 3 times. So that's, what that said to me? If I'm her friend and she's doing this, she's calling other people. And then I got a new card in the mail. I switched the card. It's 3 days. She's like, hey, I saw you stop donating. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a new card. Okay, well, you gonna donate? Yeah, you called me. So, it's those kind of things that you really have to do. You have to be candidate ready. Now that means you're not getting divorced, you don't got a tax lien, you're not, broke as shit with 2 boyfriends and jokes on it. Crisis management, you have to know. You gotta be quick about that. Do you guys remember the 187 Supreme Court justice picks that we had last year? And for some reason, the last one on the list was Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz. Come on. Now, you know how they found that out in the media? Because our lovely campaign communications director sent it to the media in a press release. So, what did they do after that? They just ignored it and let it go on Twitter. And then now, I literally still see memes from people, isn't that the Alan Dershowitz lady? Oh, God, we used to be like the don't be racist lady, but... So you have to get on that. Or how about Nipplegate? How about Nipplegate? I don't want to make Tasha mad. Debate preparation. Have you guys ever played Who's Driving? Does anybody?
Yes.
One person is Who's Driving, yay! So it's a really fun game. Actually, Carla Howell, I think, made it. Carla Howell made it. Speaking of. So when you play Who's Driving, you have someone ask you a bunch of questions, right? They say stupid things like, so why do you like Alan Dershowitz and why do you like pedophiles? And then you have to turn it around and talk about an issue, or you talk about what you want to talk about without playing into their stupid game. And it's a really fun game. I just like playing it with my friends. Your stump speech. If your stump speech is as long as this speech, you're already doing it wrong. Your stump speech should be like 14 seconds, that's it. It should be really quick. I'm running for office because I believe in a freer future for my children. But you need to be really quick and you need to have the same one every time, ready to go. I think this is, oh my God, just now it's just going. So, now this is basically her trying to reiterate everything that she had just said because she is so good at these. You want to be good at all of, obviously, these things too, but this is all what we just talked about. Final tips. And Look how sweet she is. She even put my picture there. But it's her dress that she made me wear. You need to save every single phone number in your phone. Did you meet this like weird lady who would not shut the fuck up? I know, it's me today. But have you ever met that weird lady? You put her number in your phone, you call her and you ask her for money. Read all of lpaction.org. It's actually really interesting too, even if you're not running for office.
It's not the communication stuff.
Not the communication stuff.
It's not good.
Okay, well, Caitlin's gonna fix that. There's a Facebook group called Campaigns and Elections, and it has a lot of really awesome tips in there. And then Jess decided to put in a Teddy Roosevelt. Just to fuck with me. We did it! We did this whole presentation in 40 minutes less than she does. Don't get your sweat on me, please.
No. Thank you. Everyone, please give another round of applause. So,
I told him they had.
folks, Kryssi not only just gave an incredible speech, an incredible presentation about what you need to do as a candidate, but she also did so. Wait, were you? You weren't finished. You were finished, right?
Yeah, I'm scared.
She not only did that, but she did so while having to not step on the trap glass that I left for her. So thank you again, Kryssi. Great round of applause. I know what you're thinking. Spike, this is great. Kryssi is great. I believe Caitlin's going to be speaking next, right?
She's actually Diet Kryssi Wichers.
Diet Kryssi Wichers will be speaking next. And this is great. This is all very helpful for the campaign that I have. But Spike, that's not why I'm here. I am here, frankly, for 3 reasons. Number 1, I want to help the Libertarian Party of New York. Number 2, by the way, if you've already heard this pitch, then just pretend you're hearing it again for the first time. Number 2, I want to bring home some sweet Libertarian swag to take to my bewildered family. And number 3, I want to beat all of the other state affiliates, including Ohio. But Spike, there's no possible way I can do all 3 of those things at once, and certainly not for the low price of $20. Well, folks, I have some fantastic news for you. We have exactly that right now. We have these Spike Cohen swag bags. They are for sale for $20, and all of the proceeds go to help the Libertarian Party of New York. And yes, for the low price of 20 U.S. Federal Reserve notes, which I will remind you are losing value as I'm speaking right now. It's already worth less. Your $20 is now worth $19.99 and dropping. And so what you get for the $20, and all of the proceeds go to the Libertarian Party of New York, again, you will get a Spike Cohen You Were the Power wristband, just like the one I wear right here, made from the finest silicone, I assume. I'm not sure what they're made out of. Then you will also get a Spike here. You can model these things.
Oh.
That.
I set these up once.
Yes, you did. So you did set those up. That was great.
Yellow and black.
A Spike Cohen You Are the Power button, because libertarians love buttons like buttons love libertarians. You can become
I like big buttons.
a member of the second largest and fastest growing caucus in the Libertarian Party, the absolute powerhouse movement that, dare I say, is taking over the party. Yes, of course, I'm speaking about the Libertarian Party Waffle House caucus. You can become a member of that today by having this button. And then, so that you have something to show normal people. I have a portrait, which I will sign and put your name on it and personalize it, so that you can show people that you met someone who is so important that they sign their own picture of themselves and give it to people. Put your name on it too, making you important as well. All of this again for the low price of $20. And now I know what you're thinking, Spike, that solves those first 2 things. It gets me that swag and it helps the Libertarian Party of New York. But how do I beat the other state affiliates? Well, that's where it gets very interesting. I have a not-so-friendly competition going for which state affiliate buys the most of my swag bags. And currently, that record is held by Michigan. Ooh, Michigan. Michigan has the record with 69 swag bags. So the way you can truly beat their record is by buying 420 of them. You can choose to tie them at 69. So if you would like to do that, if you'd like to be a part of that competition and also helping your party, $20 gets you the swag bag. Let me know if you want one. I accept cash. We have a Venmo, or you can go to lpny.org, make your donation there, and show me that you made a donation of at least $20, and I'd be happy to give you one. So feel free to come up anytime, and I'm happy to do it. Again, even though your money is losing value, and this swag bag, in just this brief time that I've been speaking, has doubled in value, I will continue to honor that price of $20. So if you'd like one, let me know. Come on up, and I'd be happy to give you one. Thank you.
Also, so I don't know if you guys know this, but Spike is really memeable. I have made over 400 memes of Spike Cohen, and so has many, many other people. Now, we took those memes and we turned it into a family-friendly coloring book. There is not one nipple, not one nipple, maybe Vermin Supremes, who knows. But you can get your very own Spike Cohen coloring book. You can color Spike. And he already signed it because we tricked him into doing it. Life, Liberty, and Salmon. Now, it does say proceeds go to Libertarian Party of Ohio, but because I want them to at least be Michigan, can this be part of your deal?
Yes.
If we give the money to New York?
Yes.
Wow. So you owe us, and if you guys want to get this, you guys can contribute to beating Michigan, because fuck Michigan. So, how much you want to sell them for? How much are you worth? Should we auction one?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll auction one.
So that would be an extra 20?
Well, we were charging 25. Should we'll give it to them for 20. We want more people to buy it so they can beat Michigan.
So for 40, you get this and the coloring book, and for 20 you get just the swag. So
Or just for 20, you get the coloring book.
or just for 20 you get the coloring book. Either way, let's beat Michigan. Thank you.
There's so many in here. There's a podcast Spike. We've never seen this. Podcast Spike.
Is there a nipple spike?
Unfortunately,
No, that's vetoed by me.
it's family friendly. You can draw nipples on podcast Spike.
If you wanted to.
So,
What about
keep going for him to auction off.
You can draw sweat. You can draw sweat on me too. You guys are assholes and beat us in the delegates anyway.
I'd like to echo the sentiment of Park Michigan.
Fuck Michigan! We'll fuck them here in a couple weeks when we play them. Not you.
OSU 1992.
Oh, wait.
So, thank you, Spike, thank you, Chris.